These Teraflex 2.75 inch front bump stop extensions are for those of you that have a 2007 and up JK and are running a lift, bigger tires, or any combination of additional suspension components that require some more bump stop. Now, you will need to add some more bump stop for a couple of different reasons. Bump stop extensions will help to keep a larger tire out of the fenders, so as you're flexing off-road, this will stop the axle from traveling up before your tires makes contact with the fenders or causes any sort of damage. And a bump stop extension is also there to keep a shock from fully compressing, because that can damage your shocks. So again, a couple of different reasons that you'll need to add some bump stop, and there are also a couple of different ways to do so. There are some lower bump stop extensions that you can drill and bolt onto your lower spring perches, and then there are these which are going to be your upper bump stop extensions. These are going to install a little bit differently than the lower ones, not going to require any drilling, but regardless of which bump stop extension you decide to install in your Jeep, you are going to have to do a good bit of disassembly of your front suspension in order to get them installed. Now, these are going to be less expensive than some of the other bump stop extensions that are on the market that are made of other materials. There are going to be some aluminum bump stop extensions, which are of course more expensive. These ones are going to be made out of a polyurethane material. They're going to be less expensive, but they're still going to work just fine. So like I said, this is going to be a polyurethane bump stop extension. It does have a steel portion built right into it to make sure that this isn't going to completely compress and buckle under the pressure and the weight of your Jeep. So it's going to do its job and extend that bump stop and keep the axle from traveling when it needs to. One of the nice parts about this bump stop extension is that it does use that factory jounce bumper, so you're still going to have that very soft end of the compression. When you are fully compressing your suspension, you have that factory jounce bumper, you're still able to use that, and that's still going to work very well for you. So to get these installed, I am going to give it a strong 1 out of 3 wrenches. Again, no major modification necessary, but a good bit of disassembly. You're going to want to give yourself probably close to 2 hours, depending on the tools you have at your disposal, in order to get these installed. So the first step in the installation is going to be sagging the suspension down and removing your front springs. In order to do that, you'll have to remove or loosen any of the components that keep the axle from fully sagging. That's going to be your sway bar end links, your shocks, your track bar, and your brake line brackets. Once all of those things are removed or loosened up, you can sag that front axle down, pull your front springs out of the way, then you'll remove your factory jounce bumper from its location, insert your bump stop extension up into that mount, and then reinstall the jounce bumper in the bottom of your bump stop extension. Once you've done that on both sides, it's a simple matter of reinstalling the springs and reattaching and tightening up all of those components that you had loosened up to get these installed. These bump stop extensions are going to run you right around $40, and I do think that's a very fair price for what you're getting. As I mentioned before, you can get some aluminum bump stop extensions. Aluminum is an expensive material. Of course, they're going to be more expensive than these. I really like these because they install easily and they just work, all while being less expensive than some of the other options. So if you're looking for an easy to install bump stop extension, I definitely recommend taking a look at these ones from Teraflex that you can find right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.